Hello everyone, my name is Lokesh Kumar. I have been into additive manufacturing sector for last 5 years. This YouTube channel Wow 3D Learning is going to be a one-stop solution platform for students, teachers as well as beginners from anywhere in the world to learn, practice and grow in 3D modeling and master the art of 3D printing. I started my journey with Tinkercad itself in 2016 when I was in college. Few days back I just went across my memories and the designs which I made back then, and I was just curious to see new features of Tinkercad in 2021. Lately I was shocked to see that there are not many good tutorials that are available in market which explain all the ins and outs of tinkering with Tinkercad. So this is my way of giving back by making this tutorial on Tinkercad. This video series is a starting version on using Tinkercad into school classrooms. For those of you who don't know what is Tinkercad, just know that Tinkercad is a free of charge online modeling software that runs on web browser. It is an entry-level introduction 3D modeling software to construct solid geometry. It is owned by Autodesk, which is a software giant in computer-aided design industry and offers various solutions. Autodesk also has an advanced software called Autodesk Fusion 360, which is also a cloud-based 3D modeling software and which is available for free for students and teachers. A big shout out to Autodesk for making such simple software accessible softwares available to common man. I will cover in this series from basic to advanced tips and tricks and shortcuts in Tinkercad. So let's get started. We will move to section 2, how to log in and register for an account on Tinkercad, where you have to go to tinkercad.com. In this section, we are going to look into how to log in and register at Tinkercad website. Open your web browser in your desktop. I am using Google Chrome. In search bar of Google Chrome, type in tinkercad.com. tinkercad.com. It will take some time, and finally you have landed onto the fabulous page of a new world where you can build anything you want. I hope you are as excited as me. Now here you have to click on join now. If you are younger than 13 years age, then ask your parent, guardian or teacher to help you in this. Here you can click on create a personal account. Now here you have two options. Either you choose to sign up with an email, that may be Rediff, Yahoo, other, and if you have a Gmail, you can directly click on Google. So if I click on sign up with email, I have to choose my country and I have to choose my birth here. You can choose anything. I am putting random data. Now press next. Here you have to fill in with your email as well as password, and after filling in this you have to check this box and press on create account. With this process your account will be created. I already have an account, so what I will do is I will directly log in. Once your account is created, all you have to do is go to sign in, email or username, then fill in your password. After you log into your Tinkercad account, you will come to your Tinkercad dashboard, which will look like this. Here I have some past projects which I can navigate across, but your screen will be mostly empty, so do not worry. So click on create new designs. After clicking on create new designs, you will be onto your Tinkercad design workspace. So first things first, you have to edit the name of file. Tinkercad automatically generates the random name of a file. So you have to click on this and give it a new name. Let me give it name first project. Initially this view can be little overwhelming, but do not worry, we are going to look at all the options and going to cover them in this video series itself. On my right side you have shape panel. You can see different shapes here, and here this blue grid which you are looking at in your screen is called as work plane. So before we begin designing, we have to adjust the measurements if we want to. Here you can see the option called as edit grid, which is used for workspace measurements. When you click this, you can see the current units are set to millimeters. You can choose either in inches or bricks. Inches generally is not used because there you have to deal with fractions, so we will keep it millimeters. Now here you have presets. In presets generally we keep default. Otherwise, if you have a 3D printer like MakerBot Replicator or MakerBot Replicator Mini or something like this Ultimaker, you can click on this. What will happen is your grid will automatically change to the dimensions of your printing bed. In most of the cases, keep it default. If you want to manually adjust the dimensions of your work plane on which you are going to design, you can just randomly type in some value and click update. We are going to keep it default value of 200 by 200 and press on update grid. Here there is another option called as snap grid, which we are going to look into this video series later. On the top left of your screen, you can see a cube. This cube is called as view cube. This cube helps you to orient in different directions of your view of your workspace. So if you click on here top, you will be oriented into top view. Now here you can see there are 4 arrows. So one thing you have to notice is using your left mouse button to move your cursor. Every time you move to any edge of the cube, it will be highlighted blue. So if I click on this right arrow, this will take me to right view. If I click on top, it will take me to top view. Like this, you can move in one single orientation by clicking these arrows. Now if you are little puzzled and confused of what is this, just wait for some time. To get back to your original view when you have logged in, all you have to do is just click on this home view icon. Once you click home view, you are taken to your initial orientation of view. Now using your left mouse button, what you have to do is you can just click and hold the cube and move it in different direction like this. Another way of doing this is you can just press and hold right mouse button and just move your cursor in whatever orientation you want to view your work plane. So I will go up, I will go down, I will go right, I will go left. So like this you can orient. Ultimately you can click home view button to get back. On the right side of my workspace, you can see there is a panel. This is called a shape panel. On this shape panel, if I want to hide it, I have to click this small arrow, the whole shape panel will be hidden and I will be left only with my workspace. Now if I want to undo it, I just have to re-click it again so that my shape panel is visible. Now what I will do is, I will click any object here, let us say box. I will click it with left click button and drag it onto the work plane, and again click with left mouse button to place it on the desired place. Similarly, I can click on cylinder and drag it somewhere, and let me place it here with left click only. I take one sphere and drag it on work plane and place it here, and let me take one more shape, that is cone, and place it here. Now you can see there are 4 objects on my work plane. As we have seen previously, if I click on front view, you can see this is how it looks. If I click on the arrow, I move to the right direction of my view. And if I click on this home view, I will be again back to the initial orientation. Now if you want to interact with these objects individually, what you have to do is just click on this object with left click, and you can see there are some arrows coming, and on whole object you can observe a blue halo. I will discuss motion in detail later, but right now in order to just move it around the work plane, all you have to do is just press and hold the left mouse button and drag it. You can see you can place it anywhere. As soon as you will release the left mouse click, it will be placed at that position. Similarly, I can just choose a sphere and I can move it around. Now cone, just move it and place it somewhere else. Now on cylinder also, I will perform the same task. Left click, and don't touch these dots. You just have to click on surface and just move it somewhere. So like this you interact with the object of your choice on your work plane. Now we will look at how to select multiple objects on a given work plane. Now using your left mouse button, if you click on this cone, you can see a blue halo has appeared around it. That means it is selected. Now you have to press shift on the keyboard and start clicking the objects of interest that you want to select. As you keep selecting the objects, you can see a rectangular portion of box will appear around the selected objects. Now if you go to the view cube and you change your view orientation, you can see all the objects around which blue halo is coming are the selected ones. Now I will press this home view to go back to original dimension. Now here if I click on fit view, you can see it is kind of zoomed out and all the objects that we have selected are in our focus. Now if you click anywhere outside this box of selection, if I double click, everything will be deselected. Now if I want to add, subtract or manipulate this box so that I have to be very precise, for that I can use the fit view function. What I will do is I will click on this box and then press fit view. It will kind of zoomed in onto that single object, that is box. Now here if I go to my view cube different orientation, you can see after clicking different faces of cube, what I will see, the box face is visible in a detailed manner so that I can do my design whatever I want to do. So like this, if I click home, again I will be back to my original position. Also one thing you have to note is the scroll which is present on your mouse in between the two buttons. If you roll it away from you, you can see it is zooming in. If you roll the scroll towards yourself, it will zoom out. So this is a zoom in and zoom out using your mouse. Also here you can see this plus option and this negative option. These are buttons. This is zoom in button and this is zoom out button. So using these buttons also you can manipulate the things. There is another way to navigate in Tinkercad workspace, which is called pan. If you consider yourself as a flying drone or a bird and you want to hover or move across this particular body, any of these 4 shapes, you can use pan. How do you use that? If you press shift on the keyboard and right click of your mouse, you can just drag around this whole work plane in X direction as well as in Y direction. The benefit of panning is that if you remember we had talked about zoom. So whenever I press zoom in, it always happens with respect to the center of work plane. But with the help of pan, it is possible to just change my focus to another object of my interest. And now if I press zoom, you can see I am focusing on the blue sapphire. Now if I press shift and right click again and I want to focus on cylinder, I can just drag around. Again I drag around to left, and now if I press zoom, I can zoom into cylinder. If I press home button, I will be back to my initial view. Now we will look into what is perspective view and orthographic view. So this home view which you see on your screen is called as perspective view. Now if I take my mouse cursor on the view cube and I change my orientation to this view, you can see this cone appears to be bigger than this cylinder. But if I click on this small dot here, you can see it is showing its height as 20 units. Now let me change the view back to the cylinder. If I go back and use right click of my mouse to change the orientation to bring both cylinder as well as cone in my line of sight, you can see now this cylinder appears bigger than this cone, though the height of this cylinder is also 20. We have seen it. This is 20 and this cone is also of 20 height. The reason it is happening is because this is a perspective view. In perspective view, closer the object, bigger it looks, farther the object, smaller it looks. Now if I go and click on back, you can see I won't be able to gauge the distance between the objects. So this is where we go to orthographic view. Now if I click this icon, it will switch to orthographic such that you can use it to have an idea of what is the relative distance between the different objects at different point of time in the work plane. But in usual case, our eye is adapted to perspective view, so we always prefer to work in perspective view. So you have to re-click here on this icon and this is back to your perspective view. Now we will look at all the function mentioned here on top left corner. So if I select any object, let us say this blue sapphire, on clicking the blue sapphire, all these options light up. Now the first option is of copy. We will see how to do it with this icon as well as how to do it manually with the keyboard. So if I click this option copy, you can see how a new copy will be formed here automatically. I have to, after clicking copy, click paste in order to paste the copied object So the number of times I will click copy, so many number of copies will be made. Now here this option is undo. If I click this, I will go back to the previous state. If I click again I will go back, and this option is redo. Undo will take you back and redo will take you to the last position. So if you want to do this on the using keyboard, all you have to do is click on the object and press Ctrl plus C. After pressing Ctrl plus C, you have to press Ctrl plus V to paste. So every time you press Ctrl plus V, one more copy will appear on the work plane. Now I will want to delete all this copied object. What you have to do is just select the copied object and either press this delete icon, or you can just select the object and press delete on the keyboard. Select, delete. Now the second option we are going to look here is, let us select the cone this time, and now I choose option duplicate. So what duplicate is, if you select an object and you click duplicate, you will not notice anything, but in reality there is a duplicate copy which has been generated and it is overlapping with the original object. Now you have to click on the surface of the object without clicking these dots which you are seeing. We will cover it later. Now if I just click on the surface and drag, you see the duplicate of this object which was overlapping has come out. Now one good thing of duplicate is in Tinkercad, now if I click again duplicate, see what happens. Another cone appeared at the same distance at which I had dragged the first one. So Tinkercad retains in its memory in duplicate function at what distance we had kept the original duplicate of the original object in the first instance. So like this you can use delete to delete a duplicate, and you can go undo and redo. So in this video we will look into how to move objects on the work plane. Now let me select this cylinder. If I press arrow keys on my keyboard, I can move it left and right, up and down using the keyboards only. Now if I use left click mouse button and hold it, and I can drag it anywhere I want on the work plane. So you see these two arrows which are coming, the intersecting point is a relative origin for this. So whenever you move the cylinder, it is showing these two dimensions, which is a relative distance from the origin, which is at the intersection of these two arrows. Here origin is there and this shows the respective distance, x coordinate and y coordinate. Now everywhere if you see right now here in the option snap grid we have selected 1 mm. So our object is moving just 1 mm on pressing our keyboard. Now if I want to move it by more distance, let us say by 5 mm, I choose 5 mm in the snap grid, and now if I press the key on my keyboard, single motion is equivalent to 5 mm distance. So like this you can also move sphere also, or you can move other objects also. This is a copy which has remained here from previous selection. I will delete it. So now we will see motion in Z direction, that is upwards. Now if I select this box and let me go to fit view. Now in this box you see on every object when you click there is a triangle. This triangle is for moving the object in the upward direction. So when I press and click my left mouse button, you can see this distance from bottom is coming. You can enter it manually by typing in the distance at which you want the object to be, or you can just use the triangle which I have shown you few moments ago. So like this object is floating in the air at a distance of 30 units from our work plane. Now if I click on this object and press D on the keyboard, the object will fall back onto the work plane. Because for 3D printing you have to ensure at the end of your project all the objects are lying on the bed where you have to print. So you have to ensure all the objects are touching the bed here. Before you give command for 3D printing, we will see that later. Now one more option that you have to see is you can use keyboard key Control plus arrow to move it up or Control plus down to move it down. Also, in order to move left and right in a greater units, what you can do is you can just press shift and press arrow key. Are you seeing how fast is it moving now? So the reason for this movement is whenever you press shift, the resultant motion will be 10 times the value in the snap grid. Right now I have 5 mm. So if I press arrow key, it moves 5 mm. But if I press shift, it moves 10 times 5, that is 50 mm it is moving. Now if I open the snap grid option and I click on off, I cannot move it with my keyboard. So the keyboard motion can be restricted by using the off option here, but during snap grid is off, you can use your mouse to move it manually. Also one option that you have to see is, let us say this is the box. I take this cone and drag it here. Now I want to move cone in line with the box. Either I can do it with the help of mouse and just move it like this, but there are chances this might be dislocated rather than going straight. If you are a new beginner, you will find it difficult. So what you can do is you can just press shift and then you see it is locked. It will just move horizontally in the straight line to the box. It will not dislocate. So using a shift is another benefit in this Tinkercad. So that's all for this section. Now in next video we will see how to manipulate and adjust the object's dimensions. I hope all of you liked this video. Please subscribe to our channel. This video was quite mundane, but this is made for the very beginners who are starting from ground or scratch, who have no idea of what is Tinkercad. So I hope you will enjoy this video. Thank you.